Figure 6.57, using the same basic techniques. Looking at the front, we have kind of this H shape, and we have symmetry. If we were to use the right plane, put the origin at the bottom middle, we could take advantage of that. One of the things with the materials is you can add it as you go. A lot of times I'll wait till I'm in the assembly and then go through at the assembly level and apply materials as a group. So pretty much your choice. And FAO is one of those kind of legacy finish all over. So even if it's to size, and we are in metric, so since I didn't place it in metric, we're going to have to make those adjustments. We'll end up machining, finishing, or otherwise making it look nice. So with it being brass and quantity of 2 for the assembly, we're going to make one. When we take it into the assembly, we'll just bring in another instance. So we're going to fly this out of the way, and we'll open up the new part. Now I do have a template that's metric, but we need to run through this process a couple more times. So if I switch to millimeters, grams, and seconds first, recognizing that the part's in millimeters, but most of the time I'm going to go ahead and start sketching, and then after I'm into the sketch at some point is when I'm going to realize, about the time I fly the first dimension, usually, is where I think, oh, I really should have put that in metric. So just to revisit, we're going to sketch 1/2 to take advantage of our symmetry. And I'm not being overly particular with the size and the scale. We'll let the dimensions draw that in. So I bring it out to this point, and then I could utilize the center line, but let's just go ahead and mirror this over. I have enough of the geometry. And I apply the first dimension, and I see, oh, it's in inches. Alright, so I'm going to hit escape, and I'll come down and do the millimeters, grams, and second. The sketch turns gray. So to switch over to millimeters, grams, and seconds, it's exited me out of the sketch. My confirmation corner is gone. The sketch is in gray. My origin, my little red origin, has disappeared. So I'm going to come back over, right-click, and edit sketch. Or if we come back to the sketch and I have either the geometry or the sketch and the feature tree listed, go into sketch, that will return me to where I'm seeing the black and blue lines. Alright, so overall, let's see, that went to center. Okay, so the 113, so that's going to shrink it up a little bit, but since it's the first one, notice the geometry didn't really change, it just kind of self-scaled. Height is going to be 13 millimeters. The interior is 17. The width is 35. And I'm using the scroll wheel mouse just to kind of zoom up a little bit. Anything that's going to help me with those selections, I'm going to utilize. Top is 19, width is 25. And because of the symmetry, I don't really have to worry about both sides, as these are adjusting and kind of massaging them into shape. They will gradually bring the numbers in to generate the geometry. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and extrude. If we, for whatever reason, we wanted the origin at the bottom middle, this is another in condition that we could work from with mid-plane. So mid-plane, and our depth is 32. Alright, so let's see, we have some chamfers on the corner. I'll save those to be a separate feature. Just go ahead into the sketch. Draw the through hole, and it has a 2 times 13 millimeters call out. It is from the base 46 millimeters up, and then centered We're given 16, so as long as it stays centered, if I always want it to be centered, I can select the center point, Control select the origin, make those vertical. And then my features, extrude cut, and if we go up to next, then it's going to stop at the first, at the end of the first feature. If we go through all, it'll find its way through everything. If I go up to surface, I could pick that surface and it would terminate there. We were using up to vertex earlier, so if I were to pick a vertex, pretty much any of the corners, anywhere those shapes come together, that's going to be valid. So what I wouldn't want to do is the arc is going to be kind of an open profile. I would have to close it off and have two closed regions for the cut extrude to work by itself. When we go in and create this this arc, then I'm going to have a little bit more flexibility if it is a feature on its own. So we could do center point arc, tangent arc isn't going to work, 3-point arc would be okay. So if I bring a center point, make it coincident to the outside, it goes the wrong way, I'm just going to keep going that way, maybe. The fun part of the center point arc, kind of getting back to that starting point and having it complete. Alright, so we will pick up, select Control select the edge in the arc to be tangent. Going to make the two endpoints horizontal to each other, and then 35 millimeters for the radius. Alright, so where this contacts as a tangency is technically another one of those zero thickness geometries. So let's go ahead and see what we get. Extrude cut, and we're going to tell it to go through all, and it calculates. So previous versions there have been problems where it sees that where it can't solve. And if that's the case, maybe we'd come back and make that that tower a little bit bigger, and our geometry would have to, our arc geometry would have to set the height. Since it follows the tangency, we'll call it good. Alright, I'm going to select Control select the two edges. Under fillet we're going to find chamfer. If I right click on those, it would show up on the context menu as well. And we are 10 millimeters by 45 degrees. That was that's already set, so we'll go ahead and accept it. Because these faces are on the same plane, I can sketch the hole. I could also come from the bottom, which would probably be the same, say the same in any revisions. But even though these are not the same face, same geometry, I can still use my symmetry. I can still pick up that geometry. And so if I select Control select and mirror, and we are 13 millimeters from the back and 13 millimeters from the edge. And the diameter is 11. Okay, we'll go ahead and accept. I can extrude cut and up to next or through all. Okay, so one of the things that I would probably make a habit, chamfers and radiuses, the fillets and the radii and the chamfers, I pretty much put in last. So since I didn't see those first, I can grab that feature and drag it down and reorder. And as long as it's not a parent-child relation, it will reorder. So one of the things we can use to define parent-child relations, dynamic reference, both of those are on. So let's see if we're getting it. Alright, so up to the boss extrude, up to the origin, and sometimes we'll see those point 2 or 3 places. If there is a lower reference, then we would be able to pick those up as well. It goes both ways. But not seeing that just yet. Alright, so material, we're looking for a brass. So under the copper alloys, some of these you're just going to have to memorize or know enough about the properties of materials to recognize which one to jump into. So we set the brass. We're going to see the color again. If you have the video card that supports the real view graphics, you'll get the nice shiny. Again, that's kind of annoying while you're working through. I don't mind the color and textures so much, but sometimes those reflections can be a little annoying. So evaluate mass properties with the origin at the bottom center. Center of mass is 26.5, and those holes being shifted back just a little bit set it back 0.1 millimeters, so not a whole lot. Alright, so we're going to save this and we'll be on to the next one.